All right, we got weekend sports betting tips on the Barroom Network. Mr. Sean Higgs with me. The tweet has gone out. Let me make sure I send one where you're tagged.
You got it. I'm going to retweet it out.
Okay. Yeah, taking all questions tonight. We got college football national championship, Natty Champ. Coming up on Monday, we're going to talk a little Notre Dame, Ohio State. And we've got divisional playoffs, NFL Network. All the NFL divisional playoffs, 4 games this weekend. And Sean, how are you doing?
I am doing pretty good. Nice, 2025 off to a nice start and doing well on the site for myself here. I'm like, I got to see what I am to date, record wise, but on the one here, last 30 days up 42.94, so that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And college basketball, again, I'm on winners and whiners. Picks probably is number one. College basketball there. Number one in the money, 60%.
I'm on a little hot streak in college basketball, Mr.
You are. I get them. Listen, I'm 198 and 133, Tooch.
No, that's
so
excellent.
60% on the season, which is
really good.
I want to say that's a tough pace to keep up 60%.
Oh, dude.
That is
it was a rough start to the season, man. I mean, it's like hard to figure out some of these teams, the NIL, the transfer portal, all that stuff has it's been tough. And then, just some bad luck as far as like teams that I backed having a cold shooting night at home. You can't do anything about it.
I stopped looking. Like I started the year, I'm like, oh, let me see how many of these games I'm losing kind of close.
Yeah.
And then I stopped. I'm like, you know what? Let me stop that because then it gets in my head. So I'm like, I'm losing all these close ones, all these close ones. And then I just like yesterday, I was watching the games. I had on not yesterday. This was let's say Friday. So this was Wednesday night. I had 5 games. I had Lehigh plus 3.5. They lost by 5. I had South Alabama. They won by 13. I had 10.5. I had West Virginia plus 7.5. They lost by 16. Yeah. I had Loshai at plus 4. They won by 3. They won by 4. So it was a push. Nice. And then I had another game that was just didn't make a difference. But those other 4 games, I was literally within like a 1.5 of either going 4-1 or 1-4. It was crazy. Like, so then the next day I was like, oh boy, you have a night like that too. Which I'm like, I don't want to come back the next day because then I came in on Thursday with some like -2s because the sites don't have money lines up early the night before when I put my action in.
Yep.
So I ended up finishing out 4-3 for the night, but it was just one of those where I was like, is the tide going to turn because a 60% run over 300 games basically is tough to maintain in college basketball. Like you said, free throws, just the way the kids play, freaky shooting, and just the law of averages, are gonna bounce out a little bit. So listen, I'll take a good year. I had a good college football year. College basketball's doing really good, but
got one game left.
I still tread lightly here with my college hoops. Like Saturdays, I haven't been going crazy. Like maybe 4 or 5 games where in the past I'd have like 20 plus.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Saturdays are crazy.
It's
college basketball.
A lot of action.
150 games. So
yeah,
gotta pick your spots.
Again, and normally what I do a lot of times we'd be doing this show during in November when we start this, I'm writing down as we're talking, or you're talking, or Ant's talking. I'm going through the lines. I'm writing them down as they're posted. I'm no more of that. I'll look at it. Like last Saturday there was like I had 5. I like 30, and I put 5 up, and I ended up going.
That's for me. I did a little something last night because I saw a lot of home dogs in college basketball, so I threw some pizza money at some home dogs in one game I really liked, and then round robin. And I was like set for I don't know. I spent like $10. I won like $700, man. I'm just like all home dogs, Longwood. Yeah, four home dogs, and they all won. I went to bed, man. I'm like throwing these home dogs just to win the money line.
There you go.
I'll take them at home, put pizza money on it, and boom, plus 4,400.
Nice.
And then I round robin them too. So I mean, it was like $700, man. So I told the wife to go out to dinner after the show.
Last Saturday
pizza money, man. I think I threw like $15-$20 on it.
Well, those are like when they hit, it's nice. But like I always say, how many times you run through those?
Yeah.
Losers, but you hit one. If you hit one, it pays for the whole month.
Yep. Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah. Last Saturday, I had 4 games. Go back to Saturday. I had 4 games last week. 3-1. I'll take it. I'm not.
Yeah.
I leave, and then I went through I was going through my list of games, and the first one through, I was like 9-9. I was like, you know what? I'm not even doing the other ones. If I'm 9-9 or 9-8 through the first 17, it would, am I going to go 10-0? I could easily go 2-6 on them or whatever. I was like, I'm not even bothered.
I'd rather pick like 3 to 5 games and go. My favorite.
Like I say all the time, Tooch, every game you think like, oh man, I like that game, I should have bet it. You don't think about the other 5 games that you like that day that you didn't do, and you would have went 1-5. You remember the one winner, not the 5 games you would have lost.
Yep. So
I stopped. I'm like, so I say if I go 12-0 in these, and then I'll be kicking myself that I didn't go 21-9 on a. No, I'm not doing that. Nope. I'll just if I leave a winner out there, that's fine. I got my other ones in my pocket. I don't have to get everyone. I'll be fine.
Yep. So we got one game left in college football, man. It's an interesting line. I mean, Notre Dame is catching 8 points? Let me throw that up there.
It's I see some 8.5. A couple 8.5 out there. It was higher. It's moved down. I mean, Bet Rivers got 9.5 out here. Yep,
and a total 45.5. I mean, I expect a defensive slugfest, especially in the first half where these teams are feeling each other out. Maybe a first half under. But I got 8 points is a lot for a national championship. I mean, Ryan Day, is this his year? We're thinking he's got a great team this year, and then during the season, he couldn't break the jinx. The hex with Michigan. They went into Columbus and beat them outright as a big underdog. It's just his bogey, man.
15-point faves in that game. Yeah. Lose outright.
Outright.
You don't cover is one thing. To lose outright in the year where Michigan was just bad. But then you see Michigan beat Alabama. So maybe they kind of, that win helped Michigan close out the year strong.
Yep.
The crazy thing is that, and I hate the playoffs. I mean, we could talk about a half hour about the playoffs being terrible. These guys lost to Michigan, didn't win their conference, didn't get to the conference championship, and yet are going to be the national champions. Let's be honest. You're 8.5 point prohibitive faves. You're winning this. You're the national champs. You didn't win or even go to your conference championship game. I think that's just wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. It's now it's going to be like, well, we could lose a game. It doesn't matter. We're going to playoffs. And it's going to expand, and it'll be more of the same. Why? Yep. There'll be no conference championship games. They'll hold it against SMU or Houston or K-State or whatever, Arizona State. All those guys, you didn't play a conference championship game. How good are you? The SEC and the Big Ten, they make their own rules, and it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yep. So if I'm looking at this game, I see that Ohio State is the number 1 defense in the country, in yards per game and yards per play. Notre Dame has a good defense, though, too. They're 6th in yards per play. The thing is that the schedule with Notre Dame bothers me a little bit when you rack up some good defensive stats when you're playing Navy and Army and all those independent teams on their schedule. If you had to say, who do you think had the tougher schedule? It's Ohio State, without a doubt.
It's Ohio State by far. I mean, come on.
Yep.
What are you talking about here?
Yep. I mean, look, and then you look at the last two games. They beat Georgia and Penn State. Opener that went into Texas A&M. The Irish went into Texas A&M. Arguably a really tough place to play at College Station.
Listen,
and they won.
And they won that, and that was just not. They were a fave. They lost their other lineman, went to a dog. Mm-hmm. Nice win there. Nice win. But let's look at A&M's whole season where they had chances to be good and they lost to better teams.
Yep.
So if you're looking at where the big game is at, what is it? I mean, you beat USC.
Yep.
You beat Indiana. You should beat Indiana. Indiana shouldn't be on. Indiana, nice season, but they don't have the depth to compete with Notre Dame.
Nope.
You beat Georgia with a backup quarterback, and Penn State has never beaten a good team. So, exactly, who did you beat?
Yep, that's the problem.
Where Ohio State played Oregon twice, lost on the last second. The Michigan game I look at as just a crazy anomaly. Like, I don't know what to say about the game.
Yep.
Tennessee, Oregon again, and Texas.
Nobody can do anything.
And even the Texas one, I'm going to say, who the hell Texas beat this year? I mean, Texas played Georgia twice and lost to them. And they beat Michigan beginning of the year with Michigan didn't have a quarterback. But Oregon was number one the entire season, and you lost on the last second play up there in Oregon. The game maybe could have won. And then you spanked them on a neutral. I mean, Tennessee and Oregon, you were winning 42-0 in the first quarter, into the second quarter. They haven't been close. And I've seen Notre Dame play in the playoffs and just get, run over by the athletic team. So I don't think this is going to be close. It might start out slow, low scoring. Ohio State's going to pull away here, unless they pull his usual crap.
So. I can't take the Irish. The Notre Dame's offense really isn't that good. Their passing game is not that good. Right, Riley Leonard. They're going to force Leonard to run. And if a pass, he can always throw an interception too.
This is an under game unless it really gets away and Ohio State wins.
Unless it's a blowout. Yep.
I mean, you're going to Ohio State team total because it's going to be. Are they going to score 37 to 45 points?
Right.
Because I've seen Notre Dame give up 45 points to Alabama in a championship game. So it could get out. It could get out of hand in a hurry here. It could get out of hand in a hurry.
What is that first half underlying? About 24.5, 23.5? 21.5, maybe somewhere around there. I got to look it up. But
yeah, give me a second here. We're going to one of my offshore.
I also have to tell you that I'm married to a Filipina, and in the community here, so one of them would come up and said, "Are you Tooch? Watch the show, the betting tips." I was like, "No shit." And he's like, and my friends in the Philippines watch. So we have viewers in the Philippines. You may not think so, but I have to shout out Alois is his name, or Alois. So thanks for watching the show and
international.
Taking the pick.
International.
He told me that they're fascinated with American football.
Why wouldn't you be? You're out there and you turn on TV and guys are just attacking each other.
So shout out to
I'm not used to seeing that out there. Why are they doing each other? Doesn't that hurt? Yes, it does.
Yep.
First half total 22.5.
22.5. I figured it'd be around there, 23.5, 22.5. I kind of like a first half total. So you're looking at a 14-7 game. You're under that number. 14-7 score. 10 to 10, 13-10 is going to go over 13-7. There's some scores.
You're saying 7-10 points for Notre Dame. I mean, this could be 21-0 Ohio State in the first quarter.
Yeah.
The first half line, Ohio State is -6.
Yeah.
It's 6. It's 8 for the game. It's 6.
Yeah. Yep. So Notre Dame is very well coached. They really rallied around Marcus Freeman. In fact, Marcus Freeman's getting some NFL coaching looks this offseason. Ryan Day had some NFL buzz last offseason, for whether it would be as an offensive coordinator or whatnot, but decided to, for whatever reason, return to Columbus. coaching matchup advantage.
I want to lean Notre Dame with coaching matchup.
I know, I do too.
Here's the thing, though. You got Chip Kelly there, though.
Yeah,
Chip Kelly. I like Chip Kelly. Right. I like Chip Kelly. He's an OC guy, but he's at least somebody who they could lean on.
Yep.
Because they say whatever. I don't want to coach. I don't. And maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's like, you know what? I'll get my millions being OC and just run this and whatever. But that kind of balances it out there. You got a veteran guy. So I think it's kind of like an equal kind of matchup there,
Right.
Because when you bring in, it was like Arkansas Pittman, they brought in Petrino, right? Like that's a spot where, I don't know, is that guy looking to sabotage me? You know what I'm saying? Like Petrino wants to prove that he's ready to be back, but is he going to kind of put a little wedge between you? Where somebody like Chip Kelly is going to be like, I'm looking for – I'm not taking your job. Maybe if I can – he's not going to maybe sabotage the show a little bit. And not that I said Petrino's doing that. I'm just bringing up a point of that's a coach I'd be worried about taking my job, where Chip Kelly, you're bringing Chip Kelly in there. You want the experience and maybe a little mentorship maybe is the word I'm looking for there.
Yeah, as far as injuries, both teams are relatively healthy. I mean, the Irish have a couple offensive linemen who are questionable, possibly doubtful for this game, and that makes me lean even more towards Ohio State. 8 points, though, is a tall order. You like 8 points, though? Still, I can't.
I like Ohio State. I think Ohio State beats them by 10. I mean, 10 minutes. When this was going to come, I said in my show, I was like, Ohio State's going to be favored by like 10. People are like, oh, you're crazy. I'm like, all right, open at 9.5. I mean, Notre Dame just can't get enough guys to compete. All right, they have some good guys. The coach is good. But when it gets to this level, this is where they get exposed with their depth and the speed. It catches up with them. And Ohio State is just on another level. Just like when Clemson beat these guys in the playoffs, they were another, and Alabama was on a whole different kind of level. And Ohio State is on that level of talent-wise. We saw them run out 3 pretty good teams. All right, you don't say Tennessee's not a good team, that's fine. Texas is pretty loaded up with NFL guys, and so is Oregon. And they took it to Oregon 2 times, put up 60 points on Oregon, 70 points in 2 games.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame's got a good defense, but that's also beating who they beat. What offense did you face that's capable of like as an Ohio State offense? I don't think you saw one.
Yeah,
I don't think you saw it.
They haven't played in about a year and a half. At Notre Dame was 17-14. Ohio State win. Different teams now. They didn't have
totally Riley Leonard. You can't roll those in. No. Different, especially in college. I mean, you can't.
Yep. Quarterback head-to-head, I got to lean Will Howard, man. He's been fantastic.
His knock was what? He can't win a big game? Well, They didn't get anywhere. So I bet when he's on this team instead of K-State or Kansas, wherever the hell he was down there, where was he at? Mississippi? I didn't know. He's been on a couple, Where was Will Howard before this?
He was on Duke.
No, Will Howard? No. Like
Riley Leonard. Yeah. Will Howard Duke was on Ole Miss, I think.
Was he an Ole Miss guy? I thought he started in like one of the
Mississippi State.
Yeah, no, it was Kansas State. He was on Kansas State. That was right.
Okay, Kansas State. Yep.
I mean, this isn't Kansas State, Ohio State. They're two different states, literally. Who goes? The talent gap between Ohio State and Kansas State's pretty big when you have forced.
Yeah.
So he can't win a big game, but that was at K-State,
yep.
And he went 8-4 at K-State.
Yep.
Which is a nice season at K-State.
He's played really well, man. Had a great season. 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. And that's against Big Ten defenses, man. The schedule, man, it was so much harder for Ohio State than Notre Dame. I mean, we'll give Notre Dame the last few. Is that one of your guys, Macrina?
Who's that in the chat?
Rye Cape.
Yeah, it's Tom.
Yeah.
Let me say, Tom, how are you?
How we feeling this Friday night? Feeling pretty good, man. Both of us, Sean and I, have been pretty hot in college basketball. All right, Sean likes Ohio State.
I got Akron tonight in college basketball, so that's looking pretty good. We're up 15.
Ohio State, Notre Dame. Sean and I like Ohio State -8. Total, I'm leaning under.
Yeah, it'd be an underplay for me. I don't think
running teams.
I don't think Notre Dame's scoring a bunch of points here. Yep. That's it. What do they could score? 17, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe if they're lucky. I don't think I don't see it.
All right, let's head over to the NFL. Texans Chiefs. These two teams played Thanksgiving before, even sooner than that. They played recently. What was it, like 3 games ago, 3 weeks ago? Yeah, December 21st. So what? Yeah, 4 weeks ago. It was a 8-point win at Arrowhead. The line is shrunk. The line was 42.5 for that game. Obviously went over 46 points. But the line basically the same for this game. The spread was what? It was Kansas City -3.5. Now, Houston throughout the year, their defense has been really banged up, man. And the injuries are piling up a little bit here for Houston. But I think both teams. I don't see anybody sitting out really for this.
No, forget about it. It's January, bro. Everybody's hurt.
Joe Mixon's the only one who didn't participate in practice with an ankle injury.
And I was wondering because that line went up to 10 today at one point, and that was in the 9.5 range.
Right.
So that was basically based on Mixon. I actually came in on some
under.
I did, yeah, but I took his player prop under rushing and under attempts and stuff. If he's banged up, he's not going to play a lot, Yeah. And you got Pierce is pretty solid.
Yep, Pierce and Ogunbowale can fill in there. 8.5 tall number. Texans played pretty good last week, taking it to the Chargers. On the road, though.
Let's hold on a second here. They're taking it to the Chargers. They got 4 turnovers, and
the Chargers played a bad game.
Come on. That's a bad game, and the fact that the Chargers. We talked about it a couple weeks ago when I had Atlanta, and I think Ann had the Chargers. I'm like, give me Atlanta out of a bye week. Chargers, double road game. Land McConkey had like 180 yards. I think the team had 200 yards. Like a team was eventually going to say, let's cover this guy, and then you get 4 interceptions. So they were gifted 4 interceptions. They could have easily been down 14-0 in the first quarter. That could have been 14-0 first quarter, and then that's a whole different ballgame. But they settled for field goals. And again, I have a bye week, and this is – listen, we could talk about how the Chiefs don't cover during the regular season, but when it comes to this time of year, you know what? They cover in the playoffs. Believe it or not, they take care of business here when the calendar turns. 12-4 ATS, last 16 in the playoffs, by the way. So let's before we roll out the whole they don't do what they're supposed to do. Regular season playoffs, 12-4 last 16.
Yep.
So take that for what it's worth. 12-4 ATS in the playoffs. The Chiefs.
Both teams are defensive focused. The Texans will be without Tank Dell, one of their big weapons on offense. You have to throw out last week's game, 2 weeks ago, their game against the Broncos. They didn't play anybody. They arrested everybody. And then, the Chiefs offense seemed to come alive. They scored 27 versus Houston and 29 versus Pittsburgh, 2 defensive-oriented teams. Now that total at 41.5, it seems low, but both these teams are under teams. What do you think about the total?
It's an under for me.
Yep. And under with a big number on the side. But I still like it.
I still like the under.
Yeah. Yep. The Chiefs -8.5.
Oh yeah. I think the Chiefs are going to cover. I think they're just begging you to take the Texans here based on what you're seeing in the regular season and how they don't cover a lot of games. And there's 8.5. There's 9. There's 9.5. There's 9.5 to Jazz. I don't. You want to go against Andy Reid in the playoffs? The guy's like, or not only that, but off bye weeks, he's like 30-3 or something like this off bye weeks.
Mahomes, Kelsey, Andy Reid. Yeah, an extra week to prepare for Andy Reid. Yeah, I can't lay money down on Texans. It would be Chiefs or nothing for me. Like that's it for the handicap, really. I mean, that they're at home, they take care of business. The coaching advantage goes to the Chiefs. Quarterback advantage goes to the Chiefs. Anything else you want to add in before we move to Commanders Lions?
No. I just think the Texans people are going to look at a lot of points.
Yep.
I disagree.
Yep. All right, Commanders, a lot of points. Getting a lot of points. A high total. The line opened a little bit lower. There wasn't 8.5 also, or 9.5. And now it's up to 10.
Well, this one, I thought this one opened a little higher. I thought this was open at 10 and came down. There wasn't actually, no, it was 8.5 and it went up because there was, here we go. Mm-hmm. So FanDuel had this at 8.5, 9. So now there's 9.5s. 10's offshore. DraftKings got it 8.5. I mean, it's all over. You could find, if you want a 10, you could hunt for a 10 and find a 10. I'm with the dog here. I think the defense is suspect for Detroit. And honestly, Dan Campbell, or as I like to call him, Dan Gamble, he's going to do something here. And Washington is dangerous, bro. They play all these. I was doing my show today with a couple guys, with Doug and Victor, and I said, or Victor brought up, he's like, Doug brought up, he says, look at all these one-score games they play. Everything is so close. Is it that close to cracking? Like you win 7 of these games. Does the luck run out, or are you that good that you're just in close games, a la Kansas City Chiefs, right? I mean, they win games, don't cover, and a lot of their spreads are 4, 5, 6 kind of lines, right? One score kind of games. Not saying Washington is Kansas City, but I want to make the parallel that if you're good, you're going to be in games. You're going to play close games, and you're going to give me 10 points with a team that can't stop a running quarterback. This guy might go for 100 yards tomorrow.
Yep, and a team that doesn't punt. Sean, we talked about it before the show. There was a stretch during the season where the Commanders didn't punt for like 3 or 4 games. It was like an NFL record. Most offensive series in a row without punting. I think they keep it close. Jaden Daniels, I mean, you want to say backing a rookie in the playoffs. I think the kid, he had a reputation as being a student of the game when he was at LSU. His first guy in the building, last game out, film junkie. He's played like a veteran this year. And then, you got Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn, who've coached well this year. And the Commanders' defense, it's not the greatest. No. During the playoffs, they played admirably. They held the Buccaneers to 20 points. That was a good offense.
Hey, listen, you booted one off the upright to get to get to the next round again. Could have went to overtime.
Yep.
Let's flash back to them blowing a lead to the Falcons. Can we go back to that game? Where they had to go to overtime to win. They could have lost that one. We could talk about your Bears, a crazy Hail Mary win there to win that one.
Yep.
So I like Quinn. I think he's a good defensive kind of guy. But your first year is going to take a while to get the right troops into place. I just look at this. You're going to give me 9.5, 10 again. I got a good quarterback who's solid. Yep. He's going to take it down and run. I don't know if they have an answer for that.
The Lions they play a lot of man-to-man defense with the back to the quarterback of Daniels. And I could see him taking off and getting the first down, moving the chains, getting them down into the red zone where Ertz and McLaurin are guys, Brian Robinson, or even Daniels on a quarterback keeper around or a bootleg around end. They can put points on the board. The Commanders, the Lions, they're finally healthy on defense. And I don't know whether it was just the Vikings are just bad the last couple games. Are injured on offense. They didn't put up any points versus the Lions. They didn't put up any points versus the Rams. They got down the red zone. They couldn't score. They were down the red zone 5 times versus the Lions. It came away with 9 points, the Vikings. And then they were down in the red zone 5 times against the Rams. It came away with 9 points. They couldn't punch it in. So was it the Vikings that were just bad on offense, or was it the Lions defense that's good? I think it was just the Vikings who are bad. People say after a team plays the Lions, who are physical defense, they kind of peter out in the next game. You saw it with the 49ers. You maybe saw it with the Vikings, but I think it was just the Vikings got figured out on defense. They got figured out on offense. Sam Darnold was Sam Darnold again.
A guy could have a bad game. Like Darnold had a great year. You don't win 14 games by being.
Yep, he had a great year.
Whatever happened, he could have just had a crap game. Maybe just a crap game. I mean, let's be honest. They're on the 5-yard line 8 times and threw 7 passes. You can't run the ball with a running back.
Yep.
Who's doing it?
Aaron Jones is a great runner.
On Sam Darnold.
Yep.
And then for your defense to give up a 95-yard touchdown drive, I mean, that's on Sam Darnold too. Come on.
No. I'm saying he took a lot of sacks in that Rams game. Took a lot of sacks in the Lions game.
You take out the Rams game, the last game of the year, that team had to give up less than 10 points a game in their last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, the Rams defense is playing hot. They're hot. The Rams are hot. Nope, that's the team that nobody wanted to play in the playoffs, the Rams.
I still think they have a shot tomorrow. I mean, we're going to talk about it after this game, but let's see. That's
I do too.
We like the commies here, and total, I mean, it's a huge number.
You got to lean under. If you like Commanders plus 10, you got to lean the under.
In the domes, these games usually hit though. Indoors, these tend to go over though. So
but in the playoffs, the totals have stayed under. This
I'm just saying historically, when these totals are up here this high, they go over the total, especially in them. They go over.
All right, and but my point was that the playoffs this year, the totals have generally stayed under. The last week's games pretty much under. Every game stayed under, I think.
Except the Texans one everybody thought would win. The Texans thought that game would be the dead under was the one to go over.
Yep.
But also with that Steeler Raven game, how you got 42 points with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, it doesn't go over. It needs a field goal.
Yeah.
So that one kind of looked at. I mean, I like the over there. I'm like, why wouldn't this go over? I thought the Ravens scored 40. You score 35, the game doesn't go over 42.
Yep.
Or whatever they scored. I mean,
Yep. All right. So Sean likes the over. It's a no play for me. I will take the.
Yeah, I would lean over there, but I mean, I didn't bet it. I don't have the commies on this one. I haven't played it.
All right, Rams Eagles. We're talking a little bit about it. Rams are playing hot. Look, the Rams coming in. They've won 7 of their last 10. They did lose that season finale versus the Seahawks, but it wasn't a game they needed to win, right?
Who's that for the Rams when they lost?
Yeah.
And this is I didn't understand. You could have, if they would have won that game, you would have played Washington. Now, do you think Washington's a dangerous team? I can understand that.
Yeah.
But why would you risk playing either the Vikings or the Lions? Again, you beat the Vikings once in the regular season. You ended up beating them again.
Yeah. Yep.
But you got a pair of 14-win teams as opposed to a rookie quarterback? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I would have more leaned to trying to win. But you want to rest your guys because now here's a spot. We're going to have some weather. Going to be 20 degrees, some snow on the ground, at least a couple inches. It's going to be windy. I mean, the total's only dropped to 1 point. I mean, I would have liked the under anyway because I thought the Eagles were going to run the ball.
Yep.
Hurts didn't look good last week, and I didn't expect them to look good.
Yep.
I mean, you've been out for 3 weeks. I'm not expecting you to come in here and be 100%. But now all of a sudden you have a team. It's bad conditions.
Yep.
They're not going to have him chucking. So even if the Eagles win this one, am I going to love them against whoever they play next week, whether it's Washington or I'm not going to love the Eagles. I haven't seen Hurts play well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big weakness there is the quarterback on the Eagles. If you're telling me I
got to run the ball with Williams, I mean 6, it's worth a shot, right? All I hear is Eagle fans like, no way, you can't stop Barkley. We have A.J. Brown. All right, yep. I get all that, but why is it 6?
You know why it's 6? Because the Rams stop Jalen Hurts, though.
The Rams defense has given up less than 10 points in the last 4 meaningful games. That's why it's a 6.
Yep.
Stafford doesn't play outside. Okay, I get it. His playoff experience, a dome, Tampa Bay, L.A., now it's snowing. How about he's just going to hand the ball off? How about he hands the ball off 25 times to a guy who's got 15, 16 touchdowns this year?
The better coach is on the Rams.
For sure.
Without a doubt. The better quarterback is on the Rams. Wide receivers, maybe a toss-up. A.J. Brown's pretty good, but he's always disgruntled. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he's been disgruntled because Jalen Hurts hasn't been able to get on the ball.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's not your offense. You don't win with one-sided teams. That's why your team is balanced, is why you're as good as you are, because Saquon Barkley rushed for 2,000 yards because it gives them a added – so people aren't double teaming you and having all this extra pressure on your quarterback. And, they got him. They got Smith. They got Goddard. You got players there. You got Dotson, the old Washington guy. I get it. But I got a quarterback coming back from a concussion who hasn't looked all that great last game.
Yep. I got to lean the under here, man.
I mean, you got 4 turnovers and scored 20 points last week, right? They had 4 turnovers.
Yep. Yeah, 22-10 versus Green Bay. They couldn't do much against the Packers, who obviously were struggling. That game under too. Both those teams ran the ball a lot. Look, I gotta take the under as the best play. I'll take Rams +6.
I like the Rams as well.
Yep. I wish it was
this
7.
This is a tough weekend. I was talking to our guy. Sometimes he comes in here, Dan's rants. He's like, "Hey man, you got like 15 minutes. What do you think about this weekend?" I said, "Bro, up until today I had one game bet, and that was we're talking about the Kansas City under. I said, it's a tough weekend.
Yep.
And I'm not running to do stuff. I finished the year 93 and 91 or something like that. I'm not having a great NFL season. That's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 92 and 87. Either way, that's a 500 year when it comes down to busting it. Am I going to run
18 weeks or 20 some weeks? Yeah, I know, and a lot of work.
I'm not going to run the bet. It's this game. I got to bet it. There's 2 games. I'm not. Why?
Yep.
College basketball, I'm hitting 60%, and college football, I hit 60% for the year on 300 games. I'm not going to run a bet a game just because it's a playoff game, especially if I don't have a great feel for it. And this could go either way as far as I'm concerned, sidewise.
I think so too. Yep. Maybe take a little sprinkle on the money line with the Rams. I think the Rams could very easily win this game.
I think they could too.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Ravens at Bills.
But I also wouldn't be shocked if Stafford fumbles the ball 3 times and it's 24-6 final.
Defense. Yeah.
That won't shock me.
Wouldn't shock me either. Yep. That game, the Rams Eagles, the hardest game I think to handicap. Just like you said.
Well, that was pretty tough.
Next one's very tough.
Bills started as a fave and now are a dog.
Yeah, why?
I think it's just based on
just money coming in.
No, but who's what's the difference between Bills +1? I mean, are somebody buying?
It should be. It's basically a pick, but I mean, the Bills should be up. Should be 3 points. For the home.
I don't know. That's why I think the Ravens are favored. I think people will come up, look at the numbers, and be like, wait a second here. Why are the Bills favored? Because they're home? Let's look at the total body of work here and how teams are playing.
Injuries, maybe?
No, it's the defensive play. It's the defense, Tooch. I mean, Buffalo, 31-7 there against the Broncos last week. But look at some of these other scores, man. You got 44-42 in LA, 48-42 in Detroit. That's what kind of team you're playing here. That's what kind of team's coming into town here to play. So are you going to be able to slow that team down? Because Baltimore defensively, 14-10, 2 on Christmas. Remember that one. 17-14, 24 at Philly, 23 at the Chargers. I think they spotted the Chargers a lead in that one and decided to come back, right? I mean, they were down early in that game. It was 13-0, and then it was 30-13. Next, you blink before the Chargers score late with like 50 seconds left to get over 20. No. This is based on the Ravens' defense, the way they've been playing. That's why people are betting the Ravens here.
Okay. Bills' defense. I mean, they picked it up a notch in the playoffs here against the Broncos.
It's the Broncos. Okay, that's a rookie quarterback and a road start. He had one drive, and then what happened?
And no running game. Yeah, one.
I don't know. How do you compare him?
One long bomb to a speedster wide receiver, and then that was it.
How do you compare that? Like, they look good last week versus Bo Nix. Let's say you do against a MVP guy in Lamar and a MVP guy in Henry.
Yeah.
And the Super Bowl coach you got here in Harbaugh. I mean, come on, it's not even close. They're not even the same league. That's
been the
you played a
difference
preseason game last week. You played
Ravens,
a warm-up game.
The Ravens this year, the whole difference has been having Derrick Henry in the backfield.
Yeah.
They're able to pound teams into submission. And if you're looking Buffalo's run defense, where did they finish?
Even last week, it was 21-0. Then it was 28-7, and then they didn't even do anything. They didn't even play in the fourth quarter, and it doesn't even look like a convincing victory. How dominant! If you watch the game, that game wasn't 28-14. That game was 45-0. 45. That wasn't 14 points. It's kind of a fluky 14 points for the Steelers. Come on.
Yeah, the Bills finished 12th against the run. Not terrible, but the Ravens offense is really good against the run. Ravens defense is really good against the run. So, Josh Allen is going to have to throw if he wants to beat this team. Do you think we'll see a lot of offense in this game?
I think we'll see some offense. Again, is it blizzard conditions up there? I have no idea. Snow's one thing.
Yep.
Windy blizzard is going to affect the game a little bit more. The wind, it's always the wind. Forget about the snow. Wind. It's like the rain. It's like nastiness. It's the wind. You can't throw the ball. You got a problem.
Yeah, if it's windy and both these teams are going to run the ball a lot, chewing clock, because both teams could run the ball. James Cook on Buffalo is a good running back. Allen is a good running core on third down. Guy moves the chains. Lamar Jackson's always a threat to run. Of course, you got King Henry.
I think everybody's going to run to an over here. Again, this is all about the Ravens because the Ravens could score 40 on anybody. They can.
Yep.
They have the defense, Tooch. It was 14. Here, the numbers are there: 14, 10, 2, 17, 14, 24 to Philly, 13 to 23 to the Clippers, the Chargers, who scored with under a minute to go to get over 20 points, 18. And then the wild one versus Cincy, and then 10 games they've allowed really one team to score over 20 points against them.
Yep, defense playing at a very high level for Baltimore, and that's why they're favored. I get what you're saying. Buffalo defense has played okay, but they had a couple, 40-point, gave up 40-plus points to the Rams and Lions. Both those are playoff teams, though.
Yeah, but so are the Ravens.
Yep,
so are the Ravens.
Yep.
Yeah,
so you're leaning Ravens here, huh?
I'm on the Ravens in this one. I don't want to take the Bills. I get you want to take the Bills. Listen, you do a Ravens Bills teaser or Ravens Kansas City, and you do a Bills Kansas City, and you're getting 8 points. You think it's going to be a close game? Going to be within a touchdown? You'll be all right. If it's going to be a real dogfight, there you go. Okay. It could be a dogfight, but will I be shocked if one team wins? 30-24, 34-24. That won't shock me either.
Yep. Yeah, this is the toughest one, I think. Josh Allen, he refuses to lose sometimes, man. That's what he makes.
The line tells you it's tough. You got two MVP quarterbacks. It's a battle.
Two MVP quarterbacks. It'll be the best game to watch.
And the crazy thing is that next week Kansas City's not going to get the best edition because these guys are. Chances are it's probably going to be. I think it's going to be kind of a close game, and somebody might pull away and win by 7 or 10, but it's. At that point, is it like a late touchdown to make it 10 look like it's better than it is?
Yeah.
And then you got to go in and play Kansas City, who might be in tune-up mode. Kansas City could come out and just jump out early on Houston, and it's whatever. And they kind of cruise the second half. It's not going to be physical like this game. Houston's not going to physically to death. If the Bills win, they're coming in beat the hell up because they just stopped getting run over by a bulldozer.
Yeah, whoever wins this game and goes to Kansas City will definitely have their hands full. Yeah, the more I think about it, the Ravens, are kind of the side to lean towards. Definitely would be my lean. I hate betting against a home dog.
But it's not even a home. Here's the thing:
it's not a home dog.
They started as the fave, and it's a home dog. You're getting a point, too. It's not like they're a home dog. It's a pick 'em. Like 1 point.
The line movement tells you everything.
It's not. 3 points is a home dog to me. Again, a point is not a home dog because you're not going to lose 24-23. The average score is 23-20. You know what the one gets you?
Rarely does a game fall on one.
That's a loser. It falls 23-20. And you know what? 1 point, you'd be a loser there. So the home dog did not come through.
Right. So Ravens for you and total under, right?
Yeah, probably lean under. Again, I haven't bet.
I would too. All right. Any last thoughts before we get out of here? We're gonna,
is that all the game? That's all of them, right?
That's it, right?
Yeah. We ran through them all. How about an over rushing attempts for Josh Allen, 8.5?
8.5. I was going to mention that as a good free play as well too.
Yeah.
We got a couple free plays, so we'll give those away now, huh?
Let's do it.
All right, a reminder, if we sweep today, 3-0, it'll be 2-0 today. One viewer receive a free weekend VIP pass. All you got to do is retweet the show, repost on X, whatever they call it today. Sean's free play. Here we go. We got Eagles-Rams first half under, though, right?
First half under. That's an under, yeah, definitely.
Why did I do that?
You could put both out there. I'm guaranteed winner.
Guaranteed winner. First half under 21.5 at -110. And then I'm going to go with the Commanders plus. You give me 10 points with the team that barely punts and can move the chains a lot. I'll take 10 points at the Lions. I think it'll be a good game. I mean, I just don't see the Commanders getting blown out. They're able to put points up.
It's going to be interesting. This is interesting because it could be he hits the wall and the Lions step up and it's the Lions, 37-13 and whatever it is. It could be a back and forth one, and here we go. It's going to be a wild shootout. I don't know. Again, this is one where we can make this our case for either side. But I like to give me 10, man. I'll take 10 with this team.
Oh yeah.
Because the Lions can't. You're a Bears guy. They can't stop running quarterbacks in Detroit.
Yep. Yeah, I mean the Bears kept it close against them. Commanders are at least as good as the Bears.
54.5. He might get that on the second drive. He might bust one for 35 yards for all you know.
Right. Right. Yep. Give me 10. Commanders plus 10. They could get a backdoor cover too. So like that. All right, Sean, I'll let you get out of here. Have a good Friday night, good weekend. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you later.
You got it, bro. See you next week.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.